Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to see one more hook, which is useReducer. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing so you won't miss any future content. Now let's start the video. Yes, so useReducer. So useReducer is a function or hook which will going to allow us to create a reducer function. Okay, what is meant by reducer function? Reducer function is nothing but it will going to consolidate all the logics, all the states which we have in a single component into a single function, and which we can write outside of the our component. Okay, that is called as reducer function. Okay, that we can use by the help of useReducer. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So to do that, let me just comment on the earlier one, which is ref we saw in the last video. So inside the hooks, let me create one file which will say reducer .js. Okay, it should not be reducer because reducer can be used somewhere else, because I said right what is meant by reducer. Okay, that's the reason. So here let me have one function again, and again I am using RFCE because to have a less time, okay, to create this. But you can try, like you can create like you can import and then you can create the component. Okay, but once you are familiar with this, then you can use the shortcuts. Okay, so now let's do one thing here. Let's take an example. Okay, so we'll have multiple states now. Okay, I'll say first name equal to set first name. Okay, equal to use state and empty. And similar to this, let's have four more, and I'll change the names here. Okay, it should be n caps last name. Okay, and here it will be last name, and this will be email, set email. Okay, and this will be set phone number. Okay, and here I'll say phone number. Okay, so yeah, so these are all the different states which I have created. I'll create some HTML code, and then I'll show you what exactly I'm going to do with the useReducer. Okay, yes, so now you can see as we have these four states, and you can see we have four methods as well to change the value inside that. Okay, and here if you see we have this input text box, all four of them we can see over here. Okay, let me save it. Let me import in the app.js because that's our main entry point. Okay, let me go back to this, and you can see that all text boxes are coming up. Let me have some break here. Okay, so that it will break this, and we can see this properly. Okay, let me have double actually. Okay, now we can see all of them are coming up here. Okay, so now what exactly I want to show is, so this much logic I am writing inside a component to just change the value and get the value. Okay, so later on we'll have one handle submit or some function which will going to perform some operation on a button click. Okay, so that kind of thing. I'm not designing the entire thing, but if I change any value, we can see the values are coming up here. Okay, it will allow number. Okay, this is how we are doing it with the use state. But now you see, I have created only four text boxes, and for only four text boxes I have created four use states. Okay, that's a very heavy task. Okay, so to handle this or to consolidate this, we have to use reducer function. Okay, which is something created outside of the component, which will not going to re-render every time. Okay, so something like that, and it will have more what do we say, optimizations and all with the useReducer. Okay, so let's see how exactly we can convert this particular thing into a useReducer function. Okay, or useReducer hook. Okay, so first thing what we have to do is, let me just comment on this, or just copy first and then I'll comment on. Let me comment down here, and here I'll just remove this entire thing from here. Okay, and this will give error for now. Let's have the errors fine for now, and then what we'll have it here is this array and equal to use reducer. Okay, this is the use reducer function. Inside that we'll have to give the reducer function comma initial values. Okay, so initial values will be first name, last name, email, and phone number. Okay, so these are all the initial values. Reducer function, we have to create it outside of the function. Okay, so either up or you can go to the bottom of the function or the component and you can create it here. Okay, so I'll create it this way, and this is fine right now. And this will give us some error that it is not defined or something, but that's fine. Okay, so let's have state comma dispatch. Okay, so what is dispatch means, I'll going to explain you, but state is the one single state we're going to have it. Okay, so here we'll have state dot first name, then state dot last name. Okay, and email state dot email. Okay, because we have created the initial value as a object here. You can see object, and the initial values we have to provide for first name will have empty, last name will have empty, email will have empty. I think it should be colon, not this one, because it's a object. Sorry for that. Phone number will have empty. Okay, all of them are empty, and right now it's not giving any error to us. Only this handle functions will going to give us error because it is not exist right now. Okay, so I can remove it for now. Let's remove these functions from here. So now you see, at least we are able to create our state like useReducer here. Okay, so what exactly we did, I'll explain you again. I have created a useReducer where you will have a state and a dispatch. Okay, dispatch is a function which will going to do the operation basically. Okay, if you want to update some state or something like that, it will do. And useReducer we are using, and we are importing from the React library. And then we have reducer function which is created outside our component. Okay, that is created, and comma the initial value is an object. Okay, you can, if you want, you can take a single value as well. Okay, right now we have multiple things, right? That's why we created this object, and we are saying first name, last name, email, and phone number into a single thing. Right now you see, right now we have this much code only. Earlier you see we were having these many code. Okay, we have 4 use states and these functions and all inside our component. Right now you see it is very much optimized into a single thing, and right now we can use reducer function to define it, what exactly we are going to define. Okay, so reducer function will have 2 parameters. Okay, the first one will be state comma action. Okay, and let's see how exactly we can initialize or define our reducer function. Okay, so first thing, inside this I'll have a if condition, and inside that I'll say action dot type. Okay, so what is action dot type? Okay, right now you see, for our useReducer we have this multiple states, or I can say multiple values. So if I want to update first name, I want to tell the reducer function what exactly I am doing the operation on, what, on first name, on last name, on email, on phone number. This I have to tell by type. Okay, so if the type triple equal to first name, okay, let's say first name, then I'll perform some operation here. Okay, then again else if I'll take action dot type again. Okay, equal to last name and curly braces, and again else if action dot type triple equal to email. Okay, if it is a email, then else if again action dot type triple equal to phone number. Okay, so it should not be like it should match whatever name I am providing here. Okay, it's not about that, you have to give it separately. Okay, I'll tell you how exactly. And then the else condition will have, okay, else will have return. That's it, nothing else. Okay, so let's see how we can initialize or update our value here. Okay, so inside the first name, what I'll do is I'll have return. Okay, because we have to return the value, and it will be an object. Okay, and inside that we'll have first name. Okay, first name is our first state. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, colon here, and then action dot payload. So whatever payload we are going to get from the component, that I'm going to give it to our first name. Okay, the same thing will happen to all of them. So return, I'll just change the name as well. Okay, here and here. Okay, so this will be last name, this will be email, and this will be phone number. Okay, this is how it is. This will be the our reducer function, and if you want you can use switch as well. That will be more better and enhanced. Okay, and it will be more readable as well. Okay, so now let's see, this is what it is. And now you see, let's see what is exactly dispatch is, how we can use dispatch function to make any update to go into the reducer component basically. Okay, so if you remember, we have a state, use state. Okay, and we'll have a set state as a function which will going to update our state. Right now the dispatch is also doing the same. It will going to dispatch our value into the reducer function and making sure the value is update here. Okay, so that exactly dispatch will do. So let's see how we can use the dispatch. But before that, if I go back to our component here, if I try to type anything, I'm clicking on the keys, but it's not writing anything because we don't have on change event. Okay, so let's do that on change, and it will be a callback. E we have to take, which is event. Okay, and curly braces this. Here I'll write dispatch. Okay, and dispatch will be an object which will have type. Okay, because right now here we have to give our type. Okay, which is the first name for the first name, comma action dot payload, or not action, it will be directly payload, and payload will have e dot target dot value. Okay, so whatever value which will have in the e dot target dot value, we are going to give it to payload, and type we have to define it this way. Okay, so same thing, let's do on change for all of them, last name, email, and the phone number. Okay, and these values should match. Okay, whatever type we are giving here, it should match to the above one. Okay, or else it will mess up the code. Okay, that you have to make sure. And I'll show you one better way to make sure that it should not happen when you have more values. Instead of 4, you will have 12, 13, 12, 15, something kind of thing. Okay, right now we have only 4. Okay, now you see all setup, we have provided the value, type, and also the payload. Let's see how exactly it is working now. Let me refresh again, and there is no issue right now. Let me zoom in, and now let me type the value here. Okay, now you see I am able to type it. I'll say icubecode@gmail.com, I can say, but that's for last name. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let me copy paste. Let me change it to some number, and here I can't type text because it's a number. Okay, right now you see, this is how we have done it using useReducer. So this is how we can use our useReducer and reducer function in our component. Okay, and the last thing which I was talking about, I will show is this one. Okay, how to manage types. Okay, if you remember, or if you know from the other languages, we'll have enum. Okay, mostly Java. What is enum will do is, enum is some values which will not going to change basically, and that is the reference values, you can say. Okay, so let's see how we can use it. Like I'm saying enum, but we can't create a enum. I'm just showing something similar to that. Okay, I'll say constant, I'm creating a variable as types. Okay, and it's a object. Okay, and here I'll say first name. Okay, and first name will have first name here. Okay, comma last name n caps, and here I'll say last name, comma email, and here I'll say email, comma phone number, I'll say phone number here. Okay, and now if we have to use types as our enums value, or here, so I'll remove this first name here. I'll say types dot first name, last name I'll also remove, and I'll say last name, and I'll remove this one here, and I'll say email. Okay, and phone number also I'll remove, and I'll say types dot phone number. Okay, now what exactly it's happening, it's giving the this string values. Okay, and the same values we have to give it here. Okay, these types we will have to remove it, and you have to use the same one. Okay, because why we are doing this, because sometime later, if you suppose if you are changing this, okay, first name 1, okay, you don't need to change here and here. Okay, in the event, sorry, in the on change and in the reducer function, you don't need to change. You change it one place and it will be changed everywhere. Okay, so this is how the enums exactly works, but we are replicating with the what do we say, a constant variable. Okay, types dot last name, and it will be here types dot email. Okay, and last one will have types dot phone number. Okay, so let me show you if it is working fine or not. If I update it, you can see it's updating properly. This is a number. Yeah, so yeah, this is how we can use reducer hook inside the React. Yes. So this is about useReducer in React.js. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing and give it a like. I'll be back with more content in the next video. Thank you.